Welcome back to Plot Unknown, the podcast where Luke and I am Melissa, have taken one film class and think we know everything about movies.
Yes, that's actually a really good, a really good intro.
We both have taken a film class and we're like, you know what?
Watch some YouTube videos.
I know how movies work. I know what cinematography is. Let's talk about it.
Just pretend like you know and everything goes well.
Yeah, hey, it's working for us so far, I think.
It is.
That was a good intro. Good job,
It is.
Melissa.
That was a really good intro.
Thank you. Wow.
Welcome to H.
Yeah.
I presume you just listened to G.
Yeah, I would hope so. We also just watched G.
Yeah. So, do you want to just jump right in?
I would love to just jump right in.
All right. Today's...
Wait, so
What?
who's in it? Give us a little precursor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We've got Robert De Niro and Dakota Fanning. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm gonna do you one more. I'm gonna give you a little piece of trivia.
Okay.
I'll give you a little piece of trivia about this
I hope I can guess this before.
You're not gonna.
Damn.
Well, it's not really gonna help you guess it.
Oh, it's just some...
No.
Okay.
According to Time magazine, Dakota Fanning reportedly took a pay cut from her $1 million+ fee on blank to get her name above the title right next to Robert De Niro's.
She took a pay cut?
To get her name above the title right next to Robert De Niro.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
That sounds dumb.
A lot of these trivias are not great.
Oh, well, boo. All right, give me the movie.
The movie is Hide and Seek, 2005 thriller classic. Not classic, but 2005 thriller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've probably heard of it. That's a very, very common name, but I couldn't tell you one thing about it.
I'm glad. That was the plan. All right.
It's called Hide and Seek.
Yep.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right. I am ready.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh, as Melissa is typing this, we didn't even say she's gonna get 5 minutes to write a plot to a movie that she's never heard of.
I'm writing.
Yeah, she is writing. She's typing on her phone, and then we're gonna read out the plot, and then she's gonna give us a guess on how well she did, and then we're gonna go watch the movie and come back and talk about it. So now that she's doing that, I'll shut up and we'll come back afterwards.
Do you like games?
I love games. Would you like to play one?
I'm already playing.
What game are you playing?
Hide and seek.
Alrighty. I have made a... You done?
Yeah,
Great. I have made a plot. Would you like to hear it?
I would love to hear it.
Okay, I'm going to start this by saying this is 100% wrong. There's no way that this would be the plot of this movie with these two characters, but hear me out. Okay?
Okay.
Robert? All right, let's start over. Okay. Robert De Niro is absolutely the bad guy. He's got that kind of face.
Okay.
He spots Dakota Fanning's character at a library where she is picking out some books, and he is fascinated by her youth and eccentricity and becomes obsessed. And in parentheses, I said, not in a pedosexual way, just in a regular creepy way.
Okay.
He begins to taunt her by leaving notes in places and on windows that say things like, I can see you, and or come find me, almost like they're playing a game of hide and seek. In parentheses, see what I did there?
I do.
Dakota's character becomes increasingly paranoid and seeks help from others, but they don't believe her because they don't see the notes, because they like vanish. He like, after she sees them, he'll like wipe them off really cleverly, or whatever. They just there's no proof.
I gotcha.
So yeah, and it's sort of like a boy cries wolf scenario where like she's like, this is happening, and everybody's like, no, you're lying. Oh yeah, okay.
No, yeah, I wasn't saying no, like fuck you, no, your thing sucks.
Okay.
I was saying no.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah. She realized that she has to take care of this herself and starts to investigate the happenings to see if she can try and find who is stalking her. And that's all I wrote.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's wrong, but I think it's very good.
Well, the only thing that I'll say is Dakota Fanning was like 10 or 11.
Yeah,
when
she
this
was
movie
looking at some
made.
books, dude. She was a badass 11-year-old.
Okay, so what
I
do you
stand
think
by
you're
what
gonna
I
do?
said.
How
What?
well do you think you did?
Hard 0.
Hard 0.
Yeah,
Okay.
very hard 0. If there's a library in this movie, I'm giving myself 1.
So okay.
kidding, I'm
no,
kidding.
that's fair. That's fair. I'll take it.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, should I get any points for getting the age of the 2 girls last week right?
No,
Why?
because they weren't teenagers.
I said college.
They weren't in. I guess yeah, you're right. All right, no,
I
we shouldn't. No.
Okay, then you don't get a point if there's a library.
Okay, that's why I said just kidding.
Okay, well, fine.
Boy.
We're gonna go watch the movie, not now, but later, and then
Watch the movie at some point. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
That's how this podcast works.
It does.
All right, cool.
We'll come back and relieve you of your duties and tell you all about this movie and what we think.
I'm excited to see it. It sounds interesting.
Me too. It's very good. I watched it.
It sounds interesting. I literally just
before.
know the title and the plot that I made up.
Yeah, you're like, man, my plot sounds really fucking
Man,
good.
I'm
I
really
hope that's
interested
it."
to watch my plot.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you in just a second.
I thought I was your friend.
Please, Charlie.
Hide and seek.
And we are back from watching Hide and Seek.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
You said, do you want to do the intro? I said, sure. So I gave you an intro.
You did. Give me a good one.
Thank you. It was straight to the point, you know?
Yeah, we are in fact back. Hide and seek. We watched it.
Yes. Yeah, we just finished watching it.
Yeah, good movie.
Good movie.
So before we dive into anything, I'm gonna go ahead and give a little summary.
Yeah, read a plot.
I actually have 2.
Oh.
One is bad,
Well, don't read the bad one.
but I want to read the bad one. So let me read the bad one.
You're so fucking difficult.
It's from IMDb. It does not have an author.
I know, Nemes.
Yes. A psychologically traumatized young girl started to act differently after her mother's suicide. She behaved aggressively and strange, then claimed that it is Charlie, someone doesn't exist, is the one who did it. That is Charlie is the one who did it. Father trying to do live changes to cope with this hard situation to both.
Ooh. Is that it?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
yeah, that's really bad.
Father trying to do live changes to cope with this hard situation to both.
That's really good English.
That is great English. Now let me read an actual summary. This is from the IMDb editors. It's very short, but it'll
nice.
give you a little piece. As a widower tries to piece together his life in the wake of his wife's suicide, his daughter finds solace at first in her imaginary friend.
Jolly.
Jolly.
Oh, that's
Charlie
it?
bit my finger. Yeah, that's it.
Oh. That's
There's a lot of notable Charlies. We got Charlie in this movie, Charlie bit my
Brown.
finger, Charlie Brown,
Charlie and the Chocolate
Unicorn,
Factory.
Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. What other Charlies we got? Charlie Puth.
Shout out to Beth Jones.
Yeah, Charlie Puth.
This is dumb.
What other Charlies are there? I think that's it.
I don't know. Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Charlie?
This is so dumb. We don't need to.
This is my new segment.
I hate this. I don't know. I don't really care for Charlie's. Probably Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, except Charlie's a little bitch, so probably not.
Mine's Charlie and the Unicorn.
Oh, bad take.
That's my favorite one.
bad.
That's not a bad take. Anyways, Melissa's plot.
Oh yeah, I have it pulled up. Hold on.
What
Well,
how well did you do?
so in the end, I guess my very first sentence was Robert De Niro is absolutely the bad guy. He's got that kind of face.
You're technically right.
Technically, I am right
Because he's the bad guy and a good guy.
Yeah,
There are a couple
he's got
good guys
that.
in this movie.
Yeah, split personality. Anyway, spoiler alert. None of this really is correct except for that. I mean, yeah, he was her dad, so it wasn't like a weird obsession with her. There was like taunting by notes though, because she would, I mean, kind of at first, like those notes that were left in the bathroom, they were pretty taunting. But then in the end, you find out that, you know,
They're her notes.
They're her notes.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, it's kind of right. They say like, I can see you, come find me. That's not really true, but there were notes. Dakota's character becomes increasingly paranoid and seeks help from others, but they don't believe her because they don't see the notes.
She just doesn't tell anybody.
No, she keeps Charlie pretty much a secret. Everybody just thinks he's an imaginary friend. Yeah, I mean, everything else was just me making up shit about, like, how this guy was stalking her. Mm-hmm. But
so
not true.
I'd give you a 1.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you got the bad guy part, right? Maybe I'd give you half. What do you think you got?
I thought I would get, like, at least, like, a 2, no?
Oh, I guess the notes. Yeah, I'll give you a 2.
Thank you. I was like, I didn't think it was that bad. Not that 2 is super great, but fuck.
Maybe a 1.5.
All right, Dick. I'm going to give myself a 2.
Okay, take the 2.
I'm going to take the 2.
Points.
Take the 2 and I'm going to run with it.
Okay, I like that.
Thank you.
This is a good movie.
I really enjoyed this movie.
I think it's funny how I was thinking about this as we were watching it. We watched 2 movies about mental health.
Back to back?
Back to back.
Yeah.
We didn't even realize it.
No. Yeah, well, I mean, you don't really get a sense that it's about, like, a mental illness until the very end of the movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a psychologist, but, I mean, that's not really at the forefront, like, at all.
Yeah. Like, he's trying to diagnose his daughter or whatever, and he talks to her. When he's writing in his journal, he's talking about, like, her mental health issues.
And, like, what she's doing and what might be, like, provoking it. And
yeah. But
all that kind of stuff.
All that stuff takes a backseat to
because, like,
all his problems.
Yeah, and he never he writes about it, but he never, like, talks about how he's trying to, like, figure out what she is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I understand that. I think that it doesn't really become a movie about mental illness until you get to the end of it.
It's exactly what I said.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you.
Okay,
and
cool.
I think that once
Thank you.
he walks into his office and sees that it was all not unpacked,
Yeah.
you're kind of like, oh shit, like some shit is going down.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning and then work our way there.
Okay.
Because
actually, before we do that, can I just say that as a person who's seen this movie before, a second viewing of it and
makes it
seeing
better.
a bunch of stuff that, like, you might not pick up on immediately
absolutely.
Is so cool.
That's how I felt about Girl Interrupted. I hadn't seen it in so long. I've only seen it once before, and watching it that second time made it infinitely better. Because, I mean, a lot of movies are like that, where you watch it over and over again, and every single time you pick up on something different.
Yeah.
And it's magical.
I think especially in a movie that has a twist like this, that, like, they telegraph a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That, you know, kind of goes on, and you're just kind of like, oh, I gotcha.
There's subtle phrases that they use throughout the movie that hints towards what the twist is. But, I mean, you don't get it until you figure out what the twist is at the very end.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, my God.
Yeah. Let's skip all that, though.
'Kay.
And we'll come back to that. We'll table that. Let's go back to the very beginning.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you had something specific
No.
you wanted to say.
Oh, I just thought,
Good intro, I think. I think that starting with the hide and seek scene, which is kind of the whole, like, third act of this movie, is a hide and seek scene, and, you know, the namesake of it, and kind of foreshadowing that stuff
with the mom.
with the mom, I think is really cool. And then you, like, her death, you called it. You
It
knew
was
that
the
she
same
was
thing
gonna
as Girl
die.
Interrupted. I mean, it was that, like, creepy, like, a literal, it was almost the exact same thing, where, like, it's, like, dead silent, and it's just, like, this person searching for, you know, another person.
Yeah,
And he
know,
sees the bathroom door, the light that's shining from it, and goes up to it, and hears, like, the drips of the water, pulls back the shower curtain, and she's, you know, supposedly dead via cutting herself, like, slicing her
we
wrist.
learn later. It's
Yeah.
not exactly the case.
No, but still, and it was like the same thing.
No,
And I fucking call that shit.
I didn't even notice that when I was watching the movie, and now that I think back, that's a really good point. Like, that the two scenes of Girl Interrupted and Hide and Seek
Oh, yeah, they
are so similar. And I didn't even realize that.
And every time, because that happens throughout the movie, where he wakes up at 2:06, as he does, and from the
as you do.
dream, he has the traumatic dream, and then he wakes up from his sleep at 2:06, and then he hears like the dripping from the bathroom, and every time he gets up, and there's like a long hallway shot of the bathroom door, cracked open with the light pouring out of it.
Yep.
And he always walks up to it, and there's always like a note on the bathroom wall or
And
on the
increasingly fucked up stuff in the bathtub.
yeah, fuck.
It goes from nothing to a cat to a human.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah, that opening scene is just, it's so good. It is so good. And it kind of sets the tone, not the very first part, obviously, but like the very end of that whole sequence, really when they're in New York, I think kind of sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Like it's kind of all grays and...
Oh, like what, the very end of when like she kills herself?
Yes, when she kills herself, and then when the girl is in like the psychologist's office, I guess. And like everything is, all the colors are really muted.
They're muted,
There's
yeah.
a little bit of music, but it's kind of
Absolutely.
sad, and like there's just this really somber tone. And
Yeah.
that kind of, stays throughout the entire movie.
I feel like the brightest colors you've seen, like the most vivid colors, are from that dream sequence of where he's at the New Year's Eve party, and it's...
Yeah, because there's a bunch of golds, and there's
Yeah, it's gold and black and white and bright, and it's happy because it's New Year's Eve, and then the traumatic thing occurs, and then everything goes muted.
Yep. Yeah.
What's crazy is that, like, I didn't even really realize this, but the very first like title card, it wasn't the title, but it said it was the first day of the new year.
Yep.
So that traumatic thing literally happened the day before.
Yeah, and you also see right when he wakes up at 2:06 for the first time, when he goes and finds his wife dead, you see him like have a nightmare about New Year's Eve. You see it's like not even 3 seconds. It's probably like a split second shot.
Yeah, oh, it
that
is.
is just bam, New Year's Eve party, and bam, New Year's Eve party.
And that was literally the night before. Like, that's crazy.
He didn't even know he killed her.
No, until the very end.
Yeah.
I don't even... Oh, no, I guess he figured it out. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, so moving forward, they move into this new house.
Beautiful
in
house, by the way.
Upstate New York, I guess. He said they're going to live in the country up north.
Yeah, I'm
But
guessing. So
they're
it
like
was in...
an hour away
Did they
from-
live in the city?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind
Originally?
of my guess, because all that stuff was centralized in New York, and then...
I'm sure they lived in the city and then moved up towards like Albany or something, but like in like the mountainous regions of... Is there mountains in New York?
I don't know, I've never been up there.
You've never been to New York?
No, I've been to Iowa, I've been to North Carolina, and that's about it.
That's so sad. You've been to Florida?
Hey, fuck off. I have
Listen,
been to
I'll take
Florida.
you to New York sometime. I got
Okay.
family. But yeah, no. So yeah, they travel like, I guess, north upwards of an hour. They find this house, or somebody finds a house for them. This big, beautiful house, and basically the middle of the woods. And like already, like you see a changing. Obviously, like the girl is Emily is very somber now. She's very quiet.
Very depressed.
Very depressed, yeah. And yeah, I don't know. You just see the whole like sequence of them getting the house, and the first few days in the house where like there's almost no communication between the two of them. She's almost mute at this point. She doesn't talk like at all. And like you see from the very beginning when she was happy when her mom was still alive, and the very end when she's happy with that other woman who basically adopts her. She's very like healthy. She doesn't have bags under her eyes.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
And in the middle of the movie, like the whole like when they're at the house in upstate New York, she has like sunken cheeks. She has like the purplest fucking dark circles, and
Yeah, she looks
she looks
awful.
like a skeleton, dude. It's crazy.
Yep.
I mean, she's not like, it's just, it's insane.
Yeah, she looks bad.
Yeah.
Like,
for like
bad.
a fucking little girl, like she looks like a grown ass adult because she just looks.
That's what I was
so
saying. There's a
awful.
scene towards the end of the movie that she's like getting something out of the kitchen, and I said to Melissa, like, she doesn't look like a kid. She looks like a full grown woman just shrunk to about 2 feet tall.
That's the thing, though, is that like every single movie that Dakota Fanning is in, she always plays a very mature, like, well, at least like more mature than a child. Like even when she was a child, like all her characters are like mature for their age, And she's always just kind of looked like a mini adult, which is
Yeah.
weird. She has like a baby face, but she has a very like adult personality
Yeah.
to
Didn't
her.
she play the girl, Nick Cage's daughter in Kick-Ass?
Never seen that movie.
Do I have
Sorry.
K? Because we finna watch Kick-Ass.
I don't know.
I think you have it.
Maybe.
But
But,
it, you know, it's a good movie. And
Yeah.
when they first, yeah, good movie.
good
It's
movie.
Anytime I'm trying to not to say
a
so I'm
segue
just
is
saying
a good movie.
Good movie, yeah.
It's a great
But
segue.
when they're in upstate New York, like for the very first time, and they meet the sheriff and the random dude, everybody acts so suspicious and so
that's
creepy.
the thing, is that like when towards the end Luke was like egging me on and was just like, who do you think's Charlie? Who do you think it is? And I'm like, literally everybody in this movie besides I guess they're all of them. Every single person is fucking suspicious. They all have super weird attitudes and they're weird.
I think the only person who isn't suspicious, funny enough, is the dad. Until the very end,
Well, yeah.
like he's just this normal ass dude, and everybody is acting so suspicious. And at
Yeah.
first, you're like,
And that's the
why
point.
are these people
is-
so acting so weird around him? And then you
Yeah.
kind of realize, oh, because he's split personality, and he
and
probably has dealt with these people with this other personality.
Yeah,
before.
absolutely. Yeah, because like that's the whole setup of the movie, is that you would not have expected the dad to be the imaginary friend. You wouldn't expect him to be Charlie, so you don't suspect him. And yeah, so he's like the least suspicious person, and then he becomes the most
suspicious person. Yeah,
It's crazy how that shit happens.
But I mean, going back to what you just said, like throughout the entire movie, especially, well, actually, no, throughout the entire movie, anytime somebody talked about Emily, you were like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, because they were all like, you have such a beautiful child. And that was never even like brought up.
Like it makes sense for the couple that lives next to them because they lost their kid,
lost
so you
the
can
kid.
understand. But the dude who went to Canada randomly and was dropping that key off,
Oh yeah, he
like
was
the
just,
landlord or I guess whatever.
Yeah.
He was just kind of a creep.
You have a beautiful daughter.
Yeah, and I think
Fuck off.
in B for Black Christmas, we kind of talked about red herrings in horror movies because you didn't really think this, but I thought that movie tried to make a bunch of male characters seem like they could be the killer.
Oh yeah, I
They
didn't really
definitely
think
did
that.
it with at least the boyfriend.
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
I think that this movie kind of does a similar thing where it tries to cast doubt on pretty much everybody.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it does. Yeah, I'm saying like it makes you suspicious of literally every single person.
So moving on from when they first move up, what's the next thing that happens? And they first meet the neighbor. I guess the next thing that happens is they meet Elizabeth
Yeah.
and her
And her daughter.
weird ass fucking niece, I think. I don't think it's
yeah,
her
that's
daughter.
right. It wasn't her daughter. It was her sister's daughter.
Yeah, then they have a play date and
Emily fucking butchers her doll.
yeah.
And
While these two people are downstairs hitting it off and like are about to make plans to go have a date.
And that girl like runs out of the house.
And they don't question it.
No. I don't
Like-
even think they saw what happened. I don't even think that little girl brought it up. She just like ran out of the house and was like, let's go.
Yeah, but like they're just like, oh yeah, whatever.
I kind of like you. You kind of like me. We'll
Well,
make
maybe
dinner
we'll
sometime.
have dinner, and then they make
A shitty dinner.
chicken with ketchup on it on a bed of dressing. Stuffing.
It was like stuffing, yeah. That was
Weird.
that was the weirdest scene.
Like, was it supposed to be chicken parm?
But even
Was
then,
it-
like,
why have stuffing?
she was like, "Can you taste this?" And like scooped it up with a spoon, like it
Scoop
was
the ketchup
soup.
up, like bro, it's ketchup,
What
but it
the
just
fuck was that?
melted
That was
on the
a
spoon.
Dumb scene. But then, fucking Emily comes down. I swear to God, like Emily is me. I mean, obviously not like the psychotic part, but the yeah, man. But she like walks down the stairs in like all black, and she looks gothic as fuck. This like fucking 10-year-old looks gothic as fuck.
In her mom's clothes from what I assume is New Year's. I think it's from that New Year's Eve party.
Really? No,
Did you
she was
not
wearing
realize that?
white.
Was she?
Yes.
Okay. But did you not realize that was her clothes? Her
No.
mom's clothes?
No.
Oh. Well, right before she comes down, she opens a box that says Mommy's Things on it and pulls all that stuff out. That's why he was when he was like go upstairs and change, and she says, "What, you don't like it? Like why not?" And he says, "You know why. Like that's why. It's her clothes."
Oh, yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, no, it was just super uncomfortable, and like I don't know. The whole thing is weird, and I understand because she's trying to like protect Charlie. She's trying to like play this game with Charlie.
I think it's also a little bit that she's afraid of
Well,
him.
yeah, and also the fact that it's her dad. Charlie, the imaginary friend, is her dad. So, you want to trust your father. Like, no matter, what he's saying, you just think that he's just playing a game, which is what they were doing. And so she trusts him.
Yeah.
And wants to make him happy and knows that if she brings it up, he won't be happy.
Yeah.
And so, she has like more at some point she kind of seems to have more of a loyalty to Charlie than her actual father.
Oh, she absolutely does.
Yeah, because she's afraid. You're right. Yeah,
because she's afraid and she is so like depressed that I guess she thinks
she can
that
find like
Charlie
solace
is,
with Charlie.
And
who
then,
understands
all
her
the shit
pain.
starts going down and she's like, oh, maybe I need to switch sides.
Yeah, she's like, well, he's starting to kill everybody and it's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part it gets real fucked up. It's one of those movies that like it doesn't have a slow start by any means because all of the character buildup is there, and you're just sitting there wondering what the fuck is happening and like why everybody is so weird. And then it hits it off within the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, it keeps like a pretty high pace, I think, because
does.
a lot of stuff happens in this movie. It's not like Hereditary, right?
Yeah.
A lot of shit happened in Hereditary, but there was also like 45 minutes where it was just people just hanging out at the house and being depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this movie is like, yes, it's a bunch of people hanging out at the house being depressed, but there's also a dead cat in the bathtub every 5 minutes. And there's now like
No.
well, there's one dead cat in a bathtub and then he goes and buries it.
Yeah.
But I think that it's interesting because like it's an amped up pace for I think most of the movie, and then it just skyrockets at the end.
Yeah. Which I think that's the way to do it because you don't want to have a movie that's fucking boring as all hell for the first hour and then it skyrockets, you know? I'm sure there's good movies like that, but you
Like
want a movie
Hereditary.
that doesn't plateau. And
Hereditary does that, but it's also incredibly well made.
Yeah. And it keeps you on your toes because you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like you want to get to the end because you want to see the conclusion and you want to see who Charlie is and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that if it was just kind of like, oh, hey, this girl is depressed, that's kind of it. And then right at the end, it's like, oh, he just killed like if he didn't end up killing his wife and if he didn't kill Elizabeth and he just went nuts at the very end and then for some reason killed the cop, that wouldn't be a good movie. But because it amps it up, and like what I was saying earlier, there's the bathtub with nothing in it. Then there's the bathtub with the dead cat.
Yeah.
And then the next time you see the bathtub, it's with fucking Elizabeth in it, dead as shit. In, by the way, pretty much the same manner that his wife was killed because she was dead and then her wrists were cut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, she fell through a window, so I'm sure she got like glass cut. Like she got cut by the glass.
Well, no, but it shows the bloody knife next to her.
Oh. You pick up on a lot more things than I do.
It's just because I've seen this movie before.
That's true. Yeah.
But I think, and then, so let's get to the end because I think that we've kind of gone over just about, actually, no. One final thing before the end. Man, I get uncomfortable when people are doing shit that they're not supposed to be doing in movies.
Oh my God, I know. So the dad, what's his name? David? Yeah, David. He has like, I guess he's really into looking at stars and
You see
stuff
him
like
do
that.
it in the
At
very beginning
Yeah,
of the
he has a
movie.
telescope. And so he's really suspicious of the neighbors because the guy's acting weird towards his daughter and yada, yada, yada. So he like sees them arguing. So he pulls the telescope over to the window and like spies on them. And it's so uncomfortable because that's not what he's supposed to be doing. And what if they see him and it's going to get real weird?
Yeah, like that makes me really uncomfortable. And also just, man, people just doing stuff that they're not fucking supposed to be doing. Like also when he looks at his daughter's diary.
Oh, yeah.
I just get uncomfortable when people like there's like, I'm going to break into this house. And somebody's like, you shouldn't break into this house. And they break into it anyways. I'm like, man, somebody's going to come find you. And it's going to be a real awkward situation.
It gives you anxiety. You start getting all fucking freaked out because something's going to happen.
Yeah. I hate when that stuff happens. But, okay. So now that we addressed my hate for when the protagonist of a movie does something that they're not supposed to do. Actually, another example of that just popped up into my head.
What is it?
Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone. They sneak into where the three-headed dog is.
Yeah, Fluffy.
Yeah, and Finch catches them, and it's just like, man, that's awkward because
they're not supposed to be
you're not
there.
supposed to be there.
Yeah,
shouldn't have been sneaking around.
that's every fucking time they do some shit, and like
Every
Finch's
movie.
cat is by them or something.
Every single movie they do something that they're not
They're
supposed to do, and they
fucking
get caught.
mysterious ass teenagers or kids that blossom into teenagers
Yep.
as they do.
It's beautiful,
they just-
beautiful story.
They just get more and more fucking
It's
suspicious.
magical.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
The end of this movie, though, I think is like we were saying, kind of the best part.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, this movie is truly like great all around. Can you hear this?
A little bit. One of
Listen to the
the
cat.
things I think is really interesting about the end of this movie, and it's a really small thing, and it doesn't have to do with like the color or any of that kind of or symbolism or anything. What I think is so interesting is the fact that when he cuts the neighbor with the knife, it just looks so effortless.
Yeah.
And like, especially when you and I commented on it in the movie, when he
just-
shoves his hand in the
door.
door, and it looks like he doesn't even try to cut him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they were like, oh, you put your hand there to try to stop the door. We're gonna add a knife sound in post and add a scream so that it seems like he fucking
he just,
got
like,
cut again. He's just like,
slash the air.
let me put he didn't even slash.
Oh,
he just
no,
put
he
the
just-
knife up and it
That's
cut
true.
him. It's
Yeah.
just so like, it's so funny how weird some violence in movies can look. Like in Drive, when Ryan Gosling is smashing that dude's head in, and you're just like, Ryan Gosling
Yikes.
has smashed a dude's head in before.
Yeah.
And now you're like,
But in this movie, it's like
you
Robert
have not
De
used
Niro's.
a knife before.
Yeah, it's like Robert De Niro has never touched a knife in his life. Also, I wanna say something that my very first sentence in my plot when I said Robert De Niro is absolutely the bad guy. He's got that kind of face. I want to take that back because Robert De Niro has a very sweet face and he looks like a very sweet man.
He's like
He's
a
not scary
grandfather
looking.
looking dude.
Yeah,
You look at him and you're like, man, I want to talk to you about World War II.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of like an intimidating grandfather, but he's still got a sweet face.
Yeah.
Like, he's intimidating. He's got some fucked up stories to tell you, but he's definitely a sweet
Yep.
dude who will give you like a piece of candy.
Just like the guy from Meet the Parents who played the
Is it Robert De Niro?
Was it really Robert De
think it
Niro
was.
just with white hair?
Wait.
This movie came out in 2005.
Ooh.
So it wasn't Robert De Niro. It was one of those old guys. Let's look it up. Meet the Parents with Ben Stiller.
It was Robert De Niro.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Does he not have white hair in that movie?
No.
Oh.
Wait. Cast.
It
Yeah.
was Robert
It
De
is
Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Oh my god, who
Wait.
Owen Wilson's in that movie. I forgot about that.
So is the mom from the Fosters. Somebody just screamed.
The hell is happening?
What the fuck? Ookie spooky.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I forgot Owen Wilson was in that movie.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, good movie. Love Ben Stiller.
I
Hopefully
never
we can
saw
watch
Meet the Parents, but I saw Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Parents is a better movie.
I'm sure it is. I can't remember.
Well, with Meet the Fockers, like you're jumping in the middle of the timeline.
I know you're telling
Like
me.
they already know. They already met the parents.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know.
I haven't met the Fockers yet, but you met the parents.
Well, we used to always go watch a movie on Christmas, and that came out like towards
Didn't
Christmas.
happen to be Meet the Fockers.
And I was like, I want to go see this movie when I was like fucking 12 and I didn't
is
know
Owen
anything.
Wilson in that one?
I don't know. Probably.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Robert De Niro does have that face though, and we just proved it because he's literally the epitome of
An intimidating man.
yeah,
Yeah.
in Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
And he's also the epitome of like a really sweet, trying to love his daughter dad in this movie until he goes crazy.
That's also a thing, is that like we just talked about how you don't really find him suspicious at all, obviously until the end when you see that he's fucking Charlie, but he seems like such a sweet and caring dad.
He just wants the best for his daughter.
Yeah, because I mean, he knows that she's been through some shit. I mean, her mom just fucking died, so he wants you know, he sees that she's struggling and all he wants to do is make sure that she's okay. But in the end, you realize
That
realize,
crazy.
you know?
he was crazy.
I mean, you can't fully blame him.
No, I mean, I agree with that.
Because it's not like him.
It's not his fault that he went, well,
Crazy.
I mean, yeah. It's a tough thing because
Because it has to do with mental illness.
Yeah,
and
in
that's
terms
tough.
of David, the character, he's great. He's a sweetie.
Yeah.
Because he would never have killed his wife, I think.
No,
But
so-
Charlie
Yeah.
would have killed his wife and did.
Yeah. So what happened was the whole thing with New Year's is that they were at this big old New Year's party having a great old blast. And the mom leaves and she goes up some stairs and Robert De Niro, fucking David, goes and tries to find her. And that's where it all starts because he's like, come out wherever you are, because he's trying to find his wife. And she's up the stairs making out with some random dude. And that was such a traumatic experience for David that it caused him to like start having a split personality, because a lot of the times, I mean, or most of the time, honestly, that's how it starts. It's like you have a very traumatic experience where you don't want to be yourself anymore. You want to forget about it. So you make it, you know, your body makes a different personality.
And you kill her.
And that's what happens. And yeah, so he, you know, turned into Charlie and killed his wife, staged it so it looked like a suicide. And when David woke up, he had no idea that he did that because it was his other personality. Because he didn't do it. Yeah, it was Charlie. And that's the hard thing is like you see, you know, Robert De Niro's character as the bad guy at the end, but he's not. David's not the bad guy. The dad isn't the bad guy. It's, you know, his other personality.
Yeah.
It's Charlie. And you can't really blame him for that. It's not, he's just trying to, you know, fucking not think about the trauma.
Yeah.
But I mean, in doing that, you're literally thinking about the trauma because that's what's causing you to do all this.
Yeah. And you know,
Fuck.
totally unrelated. What I
Okay.
think is funny is that this is the fourth movie in a row that we've watched, and I've kind of felt it's not really a super artistic movie.
No, it's definitely one of those, like, when was this movie? 2005.
2005.
It's got that old movie, like,
It looks
feel
like a
to-
early to mid 2000s movie. Like it looks like one.
I was gonna say, it looks like a fucking 80s movie to me. Like, it has
80s?
that.
See, I would put it like
I feel
maybe
like-
90s too, but I don't know about 80s.
Well, just the thing that they shot it on, I don't know what, you know, it would be, but it's that old film to where it doesn't look like high quality
It's grainy.
fucking, exactly. And I love that because it's trying to get like an old timey sense to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. A lot of these movies have done that. You know, Girl Interrupted was like that. I think probably one of the only movies that wasn't like that is Drive. That's a very modern movie.
Yes, but it's because it tried to place itself in that kind of era as well a little bit.
What?
Not 80s specifically, but like with all the neon, you know.
Oh,
we
yeah.
talked about that,
But
but
it
it
was-
doesn't do that in terms of the way what it's filmed on. It does
Yeah.
it in the lighting and in
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
absolutely. But I just love, because Black Christmas was like that too. It just has that like beautiful grainy, like film that.
Yeah, and
It just
to
feels
be
very
fair,
nostalgic
Black
to
Christmas
me.
was. In
I mean, yeah.
the
70s.
70s, yeah,
76, right?
I think so. Good,
crazy.
good memory.
I love that. Yeah, I hated Black Christmas. I didn't hate it.
That's
It wasn't
sad.
I didn't hate it, but
So, if you had to give this movie a rating, what would you give it?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this movie. It was a good,
Wow.
well, because like my favorite movie, I've said this before, is Silence of the Lambs, and it had a very like Silence of the Lambs like feel to it because it wasn't a horror movie, it was a thriller. Like it wasn't like some slasher film, like it wasn't super, you know, like fucked. I mean, it was fucked, but it wasn't like really gory and gross and like had like some like weird fucked up. It was just a good story in which like everything, you know, makes sense, and it's just good. There's some gore,
There
but
is
it's
some gore.
tasteful.
It is.
It's tasteful gore, and yeah, it's just a thriller. It's a mysterious movie where you're kept on your toes the whole time.
Yeah.
and you're
so
never not interested.
while you were saying that, I was trying to kind of think about what I would give this movie. Mm-hmm. And I think I agree with you. Like, my initial reaction is, wow, that seems a little bit high. But especially when I look at what I have rated other movies, like I rated American Beauty an 8. And I think that this is probably the exact same way I felt about American Beauty.
Absolutely.
Like, I thought American Beauty was really good. Mm-hmm. I think this movie's really good.
Like, already halfway through this movie, I was like, this definitely deserves to be right up next to American Beauty.
Yeah, I think that's actually, if I were to compare it directly to a movie that we have done, not thematically or anything, but the way it made me feel.
Yeah, American Beauty.
I would, American Beauty made me feel the exact same way that this movie made me feel.
Because, like, it's, everything makes sense at the end. And then there's also things that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that make you uncomfortable.
There has similar elements, I guess you would say. But, yeah, not thematically or anything. But it definitely gave you the same feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
I
exactly
think...
what you just said.
Yeah, I mean, but it's, like, it's hard. When you really think about it, this movie is so not... And, again, not thematically or anything, but it's just so similar to American Beauty for me.
Yeah.
It gives me that same... feeling of, like, if I walked out of the movie theater, I would have said the exact same things about this movie that I said about American Beauty.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 8's all around.
8's all around.
That might be the first time. Did you give American Beauty an 8?
Yes.
Okay, well,
it hasn't been the first time.
I think that's now the first time. Well, the second time we've given something the exact same rating.
I don't think so.
Well, we haven't for the last since the next closest would have been Drive.
What did you give?
But no, I think I give Drive a 9.5.
No, you gave Drive a 9.
9.5. It says it right here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, did I just give it a 9? Oh yeah, because back then I didn't believe in halves.
In halves.
Sorry.
All right. Well.
Whatever.
That I think is going to wrap up our discussion on Hide and Seek.
Really good movie. I really enjoy this movie. I mean, Dakota Fanning is never not a good actress, no matter what her age is. Robert De Niro is always a beautiful, brilliant man. Mm-hmm. Everybody else in this movie was, I don't know who they were, but they were...
I recognized the sheriff, but I couldn't tell you who he is.
Really?
Yeah.
I recognized the other psychiatrist.
Yes, I think I did too, but I don't know who she is.
She looks like she's from like a crime show.
Is she the black-haired girl in Criminal Minds? I don't think she is, but that's who she reminds me of.
No, that's what I was thinking too. They look very similar.
So you said that you know letter I already, right?
Yeah.
You have that decided? Mm-hmm. So what would you, like, would you give us a little hint? Maybe?
Yeah, I gave you a hint earlier because I thought it was very interesting. But the movie I have for I also stars Dakota Fanning. As a young girl. So it was probably shot around the same time as this. I think she was a little bit younger. And Sean Penn.
Okay. So Dakota Fanning and Sean Penn. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't really know what it's going to be.
I think it's Sean Penn. Fuck. It is. Yeah.
Does he die in it?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Is that Sean Bean that dies in everything? Or is it Sean Penn?
I don't know who that is.
Which one was in... Lord of the Rings and also Game of Thrones.
Have I seen Lord of the Rings for the millionth time? No.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
I have.
Yes. Okay, well...
Sean Hannity.
Sean Hannity, not...
Sean Hannity is
Yeah, from the Hannity show.
Yeah.
Is that what his fucking
Isn't that
radio show is called?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Fuck Sean Hannity.
I
don't know anything about Sean Hannity.
So, well, now we have a hint for I. We have... a rating for the movie, we have a summary for the movie, we have our thoughts on the movie. There are 2 possible things we have left, and that is social media, and we also, should we tell them what's going on later this month?
Oh yeah, let's get them excited.
Yeah, we are going to be excited. So,
wait, I'll go with the social media spiel if you want to go with the surprise spiel.
Okay, so we do have a surprise for you guys.
Okay, but up first...
Social media.
So as you all know, as we've said 7 times before, this is our 8th time. We would love for you guys to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Plot Unknown. Well, Instagram's Plot Unknown. Twitter is Plot Unknown Pod. You know, we post there. We keep you guys updated on what's happening, when episodes are coming out, if we have like any delays or anything, because we're college students. We got shit to do. We got delays, you know. So we're on there. Give us a follow. We're available on iTunes and Spotify. Plot:_unknown. Very easy to look up. If you have a specific episode that you want to listen to, you can just type in the episode. We'll come right up. Please rate and review and subscribe to us. That would help us a lot. Keep our, ratings up and help people find us. If they want to listen to a real good movie summary podcast. We got a new niche, and this is what it is.
That is true. We do have a new niche.
Yeah, and then you can always email us if you have anything to tell us. If you want to tell us some fun stories or, some suggestions, or if you want to tell us your thoughts on a movie that we've listened to, please go ahead. It's plotunknown@gmail.com. And you can also DM us on Instagram or Twitter. Whatever you want to do, just get in contact with us. Tell us fun things.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from you.
We would.
That's my spiel. What's your spiel, baby?
My spiel is not this upcoming week. So not the week of the 17th that you guys are hearing this. And also not the week of the 24th. But Wednesday, the 31st is Halloween. So on Thursday, November 1st, maybe Halloween. We'll see how we feel.
Should we upload it early on Halloween?
We'll see how we
Okay.
feel. We'll let you guys know.
We'll keep you guys updated.
We are going to be posting a Halloween special episode.
Woo! Hell yeah.
Now, just be aware, that is the only episode that's coming out that week.
Yeah, we're not going to do 2
waiting
episodes.
and back to normal on the 8th of November with another special episode, actually.
Yeah, it's our first guest.
With our friend Emma.
Yeah, Emma's going to be our first guest, so we're going to have her on for Jay. But yeah, the week before that, we're going to put out one super special episode that is a Halloween special.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them what we're doing?
I don't think I do yet.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be just Melissa and I.
Yeah.
Unless something changes, that's how we have it right now. We're going to be watching a movie. Now, with that being said, if you guys want to get in contact with us and email us Halloween movie suggestions,
I thought we
would still love that. I know, but I'm trying to trick them into emailing us.
Oh, okay.
Let me
give
trick
us
them.
some Halloween movie suggestions, even though we have the movie that we're going to watch.
We'll put them all
out.
in a pot. We'll put 50 of ours in the pot as well.
Oh, sick. Okay.
And pull the first one out.
And not do it, but do the one that we already
Until we
thought.
pull the one that we decided out.
Yeah.
But we're not going to tell you guys that. We might
What's
the week upcoming.
Maybe. But what's the basis of this? Because I still don't really know. So are we
I don't really know either. We're kind of going to figure it out
Okay,
as we
cool.
go. Because it's a movie we've both seen.
Yes. We just want to talk about
have
a
you seen
sweet
the
movie.
second one?
I've seen all of them.
Okay, never mind.
Have you not?
I haven't seen the second one. So maybe we could do both?
Okay.
Okay, so
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out.
We're going to watch a fun movie that we both like, and it has some Halloween themes to it.
It's a spooky theme.
He's
We
so
can't really say a
excited.
lot without it being
I feel
very
like
obvious.
we've mentioned it before, is all I'm going to say.
We absolutely have.
Thank you.
Not
Okay,
this
good.
specific. Actually, yes, this specific movie. We've mentioned it before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be sure to tune in on either the 31st or the 1st for a very, very special episode. So special, in fact, it
That we
only
don't even know
happens
what's
once
happening.
in 365 days.
Yes.
It's once a year. So
Halloween
don't
is
miss it. 'cause,
once a year.
we're going to be like girls on Instagram. We're going to say, only up for a short time, might delete later.
Oh. I was like, I don't know where you're going
That's
with
us.
this. Yeah, we're going to delete the podcast within a week of each other. No, I'm
we're
just
not
kidding.
going to. We're not going to. Don't worry. Podcast is going nowhere. But yeah, so
Also, wait,
what?
hold up. You guys, we hit 300 listens.
Actually, we hit 320 listens already.
I think it's like 321.
It's 327. It went up.
327
even
it
more
went
today.
up? Fuck. We've had our like longest streak of people listening. Some days like when we upload, people will listen throughout the day, and then the next day like 2 people will listen, and the next day like 0 people will listen. But we've had like a steady amount of people listening, which is so exciting.
Yep.
And that's not like a super huge fucking thing. We're
it's
not
a
some
big-
big podcast.
it's a big thing for
but
us.
it is. Yeah,
We just started.
we're doing everything ourselves.
We haven't
just
had
started.
any help from anybody.
No.
Not saying that, that's a bad thing.
No.
But
But I'm just saying, like,
We're homegrown.
and honestly, we probably have more than that listens because this is only when we started using Pinecast to power
Yes,
our podcast.
so
it's
yeah,
probably
so we're
upwards
up.
of at least like 350 at
Well,
this
we're
point.
up about another 100, I think.
Like 400?
I think we had 100 on SoundCloud
Wowie,
in
wow.
total.
This is exciting.
You know what else is exciting?
What?
We've got an email.
Stop.
Yep.
From who? Is it Justin?
From Dr. Bernard Zungura.
Oh.
Dear partner, we want to transfer overseas $50 million from the Bank of Africa. I want to ask you quietly. I want to ask you to quietly look for a reliable and honest person who will be capable and fit to provide either an existing bank account or set up a new bank account to receive this money. Even an empty account can serve to receive these funds quietly. So if you want $50 million,
Do we have our first sponsor?
if you're Dr. Bernard Zungara
And this isn't
from
spam?
Africa, and
the fuck?
he doesn't say he's an African prince, so
Where did he get
he
this
just
money
says
from?
his friend and his wife died, and he wants to give me his money.
What?
So if you want $50 million, email us, and I'll send your personal information, including your social security number.
Well, hey, if
to
you're
these
if
people.
you're Doctor, what's his name?
Dr. Bernard Zungura.
If you're Dr. Bernard and you're not kidding, email us back.
Bro, he's real.
He's
I
want
real.
$50 million.
He's real.
Can't wait.
Google put it in spam, but I don't trust it.
Oh, Google's lying. It's not spam. What the
If
fuck?
that doesn't tell you that we're desperate for
I
you guys
know.
to email us, please fucking email
Hey,
us.
at least we
want to
get
hear from
spam
you.
mail.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, that's all we have for you guys. Tune in next week for
Yeah,
and then
we'll
the
see you
week
for
after
I.
that for our Halloween special.
Halloween.
And then we will be back on track with Jay.
Yeah, dude. Fucking special guest. This month's gonna be, shall I say it? Lit.
Yeah, this is already shaping up to be the best month.
Yeah.
We will have been out for 2 months.
Oh my god. So much has happened this month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Our 10th episode is going to be on Halloween as well. I didn't even realize that.
Listen.
Yeah, so tune in.
Luke's birthday, our 2-year
Lit.
anniversary.
Lit.
We hit 400 listens technically.
Lit.
We have, all these episodes that they're doing pretty well.
Lit.
Everybody seems to like it.
Lit.
We're doing a Halloween fucking special.
Lit.
10 episodes.
Lit.
That's it.
Lit.
Lit.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next week.
We'll catch you next time,
My lady.
my lady.